my name is Alexius Harrison. Today is July 19th, 2020, and this presentation is for ECCE 2322. So today I will be talking to you all about recruitment, interviewing, staffing, hiring, motivating, and firing. The purpose of this presentation is to just inform you on how to staff your center. And not only that, but when you obtain this staff, how do you keep them uplifted and motivated? So my talking points today will be recruitment and advertising together, interviewing, selecting, and hiring potential candidates, motivating your candidates and your staff, and lastly, if it comes down to it, firing and terminating staff legally. So let's begin. The first role of a director is to initiate the staffing recruitment process. And before you begin your advertising process, you should let your current staff know of any open and job positions so that they can apply within the organization, and you can save time and you can save cost. Next, I would like to tell you about my first peer review article that I have found. It is from the Social Science Quarterly from the University of Texas, and they state that equal opportunity implies a competitive game where both teams have the same probability of winning over the long run. So before you begin advertising, a director should make sure that they have an affirmative action statement to put with the job posting ad. And that means that they have the company's policy stating that they allow equal opportunity for everyone who applies. So an example of a job ad would be giving as much details as you can to eliminate any unqualified applicants. So the job ad should include the job title, a brief description and the work hours that you require, the essential qualifications for that job, how to apply, whether that's via telephone, a letter, or an application, and lastly, who to contact when you are applying for the job. Now we're going to be talking about the interviewing, the selecting, and the hiring process. The hiring can be done by the director, the assistant director, or even the human resource committee. The second peer review article I have located is the Journal of Employment Counseling, and they state that motivational interviewing has a high success rate for employment support. Examples of legal interview questions would include, why do you want to work for this company? Or what languages do you read, speak, or write fluently? After that, you can practice having a mock interview. The mock interview prepares you for becoming familiar with the applicant's application, their resume, and going over their references. A great method for going over references would include giving the reference a phone call or sending that reference a questionnaire. Once the director has gone over that candidate's application, interviews, and check the references, the director can make the final decision on whether or not to send a hire request or a job offer to that candidate. If the candidate accepts the job request, an orientation plan can be set up for that new employee. The orientation plan can consist of a tour of the center and simply going over the employee handbook with that applicant. The employee handbook would consist of things like the company's philosophy, employment policies, and lastly, NACCE's Code of Ethics. Next, we're going to move into the motivational process. Now, in my opinion, the easiest way to keep your staff motivated is to communicate. It is nothing like having a great communicator who is supporting you, uplifting you throughout your journey as a child care educator. Next, you can go on outings with your team, or you can set up an occasional monthly provided lunch for your teams. You can even do a pay benefit, or you can give them a bonus at the end of the quarter. Lastly would be how to fire an employee. My last peer review article that I have for you all is from the Business of Communications Quarterly. And this article states that few companies in the United States have policies and procedures for addressing uncivil behavior. Documentation that is needed for terminating an employee would be the dates, the times, the violations, and the evaluations. This is so that you can have a nice paper trail as to what led up to that employee's termination. Legal issues that you could face for terminating an employee would be the employee claiming that you are terminating them out of retaliation or defamation. So that is why it is important that employee at will is always addressed. Employee at will means that an employer can terminate an employee without cause or reason. So in conclusion, in order to recruit, interview, select, hire, motivate, and fire, you must follow these steps, strategies, and guidelines closely so that you can staff your center with the utmost quality and so that you can maintain great motivational atmospheres in your center. Bye.